Hi, I'm Neil Gorsuch here at Corenco with Ken from Sonoma Specialty Foods. Ken, thank you so much for coming today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, it's good to be. It's good to be with one of my favorite vendors, talking about shop and equipment. It's great.
Awesome. Thank you for coming. So, one of the things that we're hoping to talk about today is sanitation, and you have a lot of experience with our equipment, and we've tried to design the equipment in a way that is easy to clean. How has your experience been with that?
It's exactly that. It is easy to clean. In terms of breakdown, just a couple minutes to expose all the parts, either get them in our industrial dishwasher or clean in place.
Everything comes out and opens up, no tools, screens come out, everything opens up so you can go in there and all high pressure wash down duty, NEMA 4X rated equipment. Do you clean in place, or do you take it to a clean room?
It depends what the application is, how soiled it is. Food products, but we still call it soiled. Yeah, sometimes we take everything out and dishwasher it in our out of place
Sure.
cleaning environment. Other times we just clean it in place if it's ready to go. We have a 3-stage, soap, rinse, sanitizer,
Yes.
rinse.
Awesome, awesome. And then you can put screens and parts in a full-on dishwasher.
Exactly.
And run from there.
Yeah, well,
Wonderful.
they're all stainless, they're anodized. It just makes everything super easy,
Awesome.
especially if there's any kind of defect. As you know, not all foods are, as clean as we'd like them. And if there's ever a nick or a ding, we get to see it right up front and take care of it.
Right then and there. Let's pick a specific product. What do you want to
We
go
talk
with?
about garlic
Garlic's a
or
good one.
rough chopped onion, any of the vegetables realistically that we want to.
Okay. And then do you use the M8 10 horsepower unit for that, or do you go with the big guy?
We usually use the big guy for
Okay, cool.
the sizable chunks that we want. If we ever did a chunky soup or some of the salsas.
Garlic, for example. So garlic, cloves, peeled, going through what screen exactly?
I believe it's the 1/4 inch. You'd have to catch me on
check
that.
on
Yeah,
that? Okay.
as the plant engineer, I make sure that everything's running and sharp and looking
Gotcha.
good, and then the chefs take care of what they want to do with it.
Sure, makes sense. And do you know off the top of your head what kind of capacity you're getting, say with garlic through 1/4 inch shredder screen?
In terms of percentage,
Or flow rate, or percentage, or pounds per hour, whatever's easy.
oh my gosh, pounds per hour, limitless.
Limitless.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can really.
So you're not experiencing a high load on your motor? which
No,
would
not at
indicate-
all.
Okay.
In fact, I run at 480 volts instead of 240. It saves on the amperage and gives
Awesome.
a little more torque. We find we could just operate quicker, faster without any overheating whatsoever.
Wonderful.
And we have days when we go all day long at temperature, meaning 205 degrees or slightly over.
Cool.
And that machine holds up beautifully.
And that's the way we like it too. Product in, product out. The product stays cool and cooler if more products coming in and going out quickly than if
Yeah.
it stays in there. Obviously, friction creates.
Part of the
heat.
recipe and what we've learned over time is that the way you meter product in also defines how clean of a product you get out.
Absolutely.
So, we can't just jam everything in at once. We'd like to process 250 pounds in 30 seconds, but no, that's part of the recipe is chopping and or dicing or reducing size in a known pattern, and we try to respect that.
Awesome, and do that every time to create a consistent product.
That
make
is
sense.
correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
at Sonoma Specialty Foods, we're packed with lots of chefs. The owners
Gotcha.
are trained chefs from back in the day. I have a culinary degree, as do 2 of our other employees.
Awesome, awesome. Let's talk about parts and spare parts. How has that
Spare
been for
parts, one phone call away.
Awesome. Good.
You field my calls, and as I like to say, you're my first call. If you can't solve the problem, you know exactly who I need to talk to do it. And realistically, in the past two decades of use, there's been just not even a handful of problems. So
Sure.
that's why I'm sitting here today.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming.
Man, the pleasure is all mine, Neil. Thanks for having me at the Corenco factory. It's so cool to be able to talk shop, and thank you for being a great partner.